My name is Professor Sumita Gunami and at presently I am working in SD Government College, Beawar. Today we are starting with the syllabus of BCom Part 2, Paper 1, Banking and Financial Management students. The name of the paper is Financial Management. There are many writers for the Financial Management book, but generally in class we take the M.R. Agarwal author for reference to the chapters of financial management. First, we will start with the introduction of financial management, meaning of financial management. Before understanding the meaning of financial management, first we will see what is the meaning of finance. Finance is the lifeblood of every business organization, whether it is private, whether it is public, or whether it is profit earning organization or it is organization for the social cause. For any type of organization, finance is its lifeblood. Whether there are all the human resources available, human resources are available, technology is there, but we don't have finance. So in that case, no business organization can be started or can be well run. With the same meaning of finance, there is a need for the management of finance. Management means planning, organizing, directing, staffing and controlling the finance. Finance, first of all we have to see what amount of finance we require. That is called as planning part. What amount of finance to be required, from where it will be organized, from which bank, from which corporation it has to be organized. We have to see the different type of rate of interest and the installment we have to pay on the loan. Then that is the meaning of organizing. Then is when to arrange, when to apply for the loan, how to apply for the loan. After arranging, where to put, where to invest the finance, which type of firm, which type of organization, which type of project or which type of work we have to invest the finance. And after investing, that is called as coordinating and controlling, maintaining the balance, the cause, the purpose for which the finance was organized, arranged, planned, that purpose is being fulfilled or not, whether we are going in the proper direction or not. The most important thing which every entrepreneur must see, there should not be underfinance nor overfinance. Underfinance means there is capacity of the plant, but there is need of more and more finance. There are chances of earning more and more profit, but because of the lack of finance, we are not running the plant up to its maximum capacity. So again, that is the loss to the entrepreneur itself in case of underfinance. Overfinance means we have put more amount of finance in comparison to the capacity of the firm. It means there is no profit earning capacity in comparison to the finance we have put, and we are paying extra interest installment on it in comparison to the profit we are earning. So every entrepreneur has to see in organization there should be not undercapitalization and there should be not overcapitalization. That is the important part of management of finance. There are some features of financial management. The first feature is it is essential part of business management. As I already told you, finance is the important part of every organization, but managing the finance, that is planning, organizing, directing, controlling and coordinating, is the essential part of every business management. The next feature is it is continuous administrative function. It is not one-time activity. It is continuous. On continuous basis, every administrator has to see whether the finance is going in the right direction or not. Next is it is scientific and analytical decision. Scientific means it is systematic. It has to be followed step by step, and we have to analyze it whether we are right or wrong, whether we are going in the right direction or not. I have arranged 1 crore of finance, but I am not investing in the right type of project. We have to analyze. There are many opportunities available in the market. So which type of opportunity, which type of alternative will be best for the investment of the finance? That is called as analyzing, that is called as systematic. Next is it is centralized in nature. It is not decentralized. Only the administrative manager has a right for the management of finance. That is why it is called as it is centralized or it is administrative in nature. Next is it has wider scope. Wider scope means broader scope. It is not narrow in nature. Its scope is broad. Why it is broad? Because finance has to be there in all the different departments of the organization, whether it is human resource, whether it is technology, whether it is other type of department. And next is it is applicable to all type of organization. As I already told you, whether it is private, whether it is public, whether it is profit earning, whether it is social cause organization, whether it is productive, it means the organization which is providing different types of product, or whether it is providing different type of service, that management of finance is applicable to all type of organization. So this was the few features, 7 features or characteristics of financial management. The other topic is objective of profit financial management. Again here I am insisting that this is very important, that what is the objective of financial management. Mainly there are 2 important objectives of financial management. First is profit maximization and the second is wealth maximization. Profit maximization means when we are investing in any type of project, the first objective is to earn more and more of profit. That is when we are calculating on quarterly basis, half-yearly basis or yearly basis, the profit should be there. Profit means there should be less cost of production and there should be more profit earning ratio of every organization. So this is the traditional objective of every organization, that is profit organization. The modern objective of financial management is wealth maximization. Wealth maximization, in other words, wealth maximization is also called as discounting rate of return. Discounting rate of return means, as we are aware that the value of rupee goes on declining on every basis. For example, the value of rupee 100, for example, we are getting 4 products of rupees 100. With the passage of time, when the inflation rate increases, maybe we will be getting only 2 products of rupees 100. So before the rate of inflation, when it was less, the value of 100 was worth rupees 4 products. With the increasing rate of inflation, as it always rate of inflation with the passage of time goes on increasing, the value of rupees 100 is equals to 2 product. In the same way, when we are investing in any product, any project, for example, today I am investing in the project which is the worth value of 1 crore. I have to see कि this 1 crore project after 10 years or after 5 years, as already I told you, every project has definite lifespan. The project may be for 5 years, maybe for 2 years, maybe for 8 years, maybe for 10 years, or maybe for more years. So we have to see with the life of the project. If I am in, for example, I am investing in a project worth rupees 1 crore and its life is 5 years. I have to see at the end of the 5 years what 1 crore, what will be the worth of the project 1 crore. I have to see its discounted value. Naturally, the project which will be giving me after making the discount, the project which is giving me the value of more than 1 crore, I will be investing in that project. That is called as wealth maximization, or in other words, discounted rate of return. Again here I am repeating because it is very important to understand the meaning of wealth maximization. Profit maximization, it is very simple. The rate of return should be higher in comparison to the cost of production. But in the wealth maximization, we have to see the discounted rate of return. After discounting the project, the value of the project after the end of its life should be higher than the value of investment which we have made in the project. For example, there are 3 alternatives. In every alternative, I am making the investment of rupees 1 crore. One project whose life is 3 years. There is the other project whose life is 5 years. And there is the third project whose life is 8 years. I have to see after the end of 3 years, 5 years or 8 years, after making the discount of rupees 1 crore, which alternative project is giving me the discounted value more than 1 crore, because with the rate of inflation, with the passage of time, the value of rupee goes on decreasing. The project which is giving me highest rate of return after its discounting rate, that project will be selected. That is called as wealth maximization. So these were the two important objectives of financial management: profit maximization and wealth maximization. Thank you.